I'm making this video on Shuki. He's a YouTuber who talks about the Wii U and the fanboys. And he was talking about how the Wii U has no third-party games and how the fanboys or the drones or whatever you want to call them are hating on the Wii U because it doesn't have these said multi-plat games that have yet to come out. Now, I agree with him most of his video, but I'm going to focus more on the fanboys or drones that are just drones of all kinds. One of the drones I want to first start out with is one of my worst kind of drones, and it's the graphic horse. Now, if someone like me who's in graphic design, I'm here to tell you graphics aren't everything. And that's coming from someone who's in graphic design. They're not everything. Graphics are secondary. Gameplay is first. Gameplay and story are first, especially for somebody like me who plays a lot of JRPGs. Now, to tell you the truth, some of my favorite games are on the PlayStation 2. Yes, the awards are all the graphic horrors. It's not look super realistic. That's one thing I hated about when the PlayStation 3 and 360 came out. Is that once they came out, you got these people who literally became addicted to graphics like it's a drug. They literally became addicted to HD graphics like it was a drug. Like they needed more of it. I don't have enough HD graphics, man. I gotta pump another one in my veins. I have to pump more HD in my veins. Seriously. They got me addicted to it like it was a drug. I was like, seriously? Now, I'm pretty sure you had them back with the PS2 generation and all that, but not nearly as bad as you did when the PlayStation 3 and 360 came out. Because that started to be all they cared about. When they saw the pretty graphics, it was like they had some going on in their body that just turned them on. It's like, come on. HD graphics aren't everything. Graphics aren't everything. To tell you the truth, like I said, some of my favorite games are on the PlayStation 2. Why do you think we have so many of the HD collections? Because half of the fans that want these collections are people who loved the PlayStation 2. Who loved them back on the original PlayStation 2. In fact, a lot of these collections are because they didn't care about graphics. Now, sure, they are prettying them up and making them up the resolution, but I could really care less about that, because even if they just ported over with just the PS2 graphics, I wouldn't be one of those people like, oh my god, it's not pretty, I can't play it. No, I would still play it because they're my favorite PlayStation 2 games. And we don't need HD graphics in order to love a game. So that's one thing I don't like about graphic whores. They're not gamers. They're just people who just look at graphics and get some weird sensation from it. It's like, come on. And then they'll go out and insult, and half the graphic whores go out and insult Nintendo because they do not have these pretty graphics. But once the Wii U came out, they got the pretty graphics. But of course they're hating on it because they're saying, oh, it's not next gen! It's not next gen graphics! It's not more super realistic graphics! I need more better graphics in my current PlayStation 3 and 360. It's the same graphics as those! Because I'm a graphic or I'm addicted to graphics, man! Wow, so you're getting mad at Nintendo for finally having the graphics that didn't have with the Wii, the HD graphics, and now you're hating on it because it didn't have the graphics of the PlayStation 4 How do you even know the PlayStation 4's graphics are going to be that great? What if they aren't? What are you going to do? Kill yourself? Is that what you're going to go do? Your graphic cards? If the PlayStation 4 and Xbox 720 don't have that big of a graphic leap, what are you going to do? Shoot yourself? Oh my god, they don't have super realistic graphics. I'm just going to go shoot myself, man. Seriously. Graphic horrors they sicken me. Because they're not even true gamers. They don't know what it is to be a true gamer. They only play for graphics. I personally play video games not for graphics, but for, of course, the gameplay and story. And some of my favorite PS3 games actually don't even have super realistic graphics. They have either cel-shaded or 2D graphics. Disgaea 3, Disgaea 4, Persona Arena. Persona 4 Arena. None of those games have super realistic graphics, but they're all good games. But whatever, they're gonna be their graphic horror selves. They're gonna be hooked on graphics. So yeah. But yeah, another thing is the one console fanboys. Now these are the people I really don't like. Because Shokio mentioned in his video that Nintendo fans like him, me, and myself, we own more than one console. We either own a PlayStation 3 or 360, and we also own a Nintendo console. I am a Sony. I will admit my preference is Sony and Nintendo. Would I play a 360? Yes, I would play a 360. Am I a Microsoft fan? No. In fact, I really don't like Microsoft. I admit back then I played a little bit of fanboy trashing on Microsoft. I won't trash on them because they do have a good system and they do have awesome online. And they do have certain games on their console that I would like to play, But that doesn't mean that their console is the only good console. Just like it doesn't mean Sony's console is the only good console. Just like it doesn't mean that Nintendo's console is the only good console. I have a good friend. He's my best friend, and all offline. And he used to always tell me this. Every console has its flaws. And I stick with him on that. It's very true. He's my best friend. If he ever watches this video, he'll know who he is. So yeah, but he's my best friend. He used to always say that, and it's very true. Every console has their flaws. The Wii's flaw was that it focused too much on casual gaming. And I will admit it didn't have the graphics of the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360, but that didn't matter because it still had great games. But I will admit one of their flaws is that they focused too much on the casual audience. I will admit that flaw is also what made the Wii so successful, but at the same time, it was a flaw to people like me who actually sit down and play video games. Now, I'm going to say they completely abandoned the people like me? No, because they still had great games. They had Xenoblade Chronicles, A Last Story, the recent to come out this year, Pandora's Tower. They had Skyward Sword. They had Twilight Princess. They had Super Smash Bros. Brawl. They had Super Mario Galaxies 1 and 2, Mario Kart Wii. All these were good games. The Metroid Prime Trilogy, all those were great games. It's just that Nintendo's problem was that they focused too much on the casual audience and didn't release a lot of those games consistently, and there would be like a big drought of them, and then they would just a bunch of stupid party games. So yeah, that was one of the problems, but regardless, Nintendo had their flaws. They had their flaws. Just like Sony, I know the fanboys are going to get mad at this, has their flaws. like I said, I prefer Sony and Nintendo, but I won't minus words to my two favorite companies that they both have flaws, and I won't, even though I'm not a Microsoft fan, I'll admit they have flaws, but I also admit they have strong points. All three of them have strong points, but all three of them have flaws too. Sony's flaw, they don't know how to market some of their games right. Also they come out. Also they just don't have the online of the Xbox 360. I mean, their online isn't crappy, but it isn't that great either. I mean, it's not horrible, but it's not as great as Microsoft's online. Sony has some flaws. They have some great exclusives, but they have some flaws as well. Also, they didn't know how to market the PlayStation Move right. That was a big flaw. I was excited for the PlayStation Move, but they didn't market it right. They just didn't really care about it. And also they released some crappy games, some crappy spin-off games of their main titles like Ratchet and Clank, All for One, and stuff like that. So yeah, Sony, they have flaws. Microsoft has flaws too. Too many first-person shooters, but that's for both Sony and Microsoft. Too many of them for both of them. No, too many shooters in general for both of them. There's a flaw on both their sides. Too many shooters. Neither one of them felt like they wanted to focus on a different genre until later on. And they finally did, but man, they got oversaturated with too many shooters. Another flaw by both Sony and Microsoft. I will admit I like Sony, but they got oversaturated with too many shooters, just like Microsoft did. Microsoft's biggest thing is not really a whole lot of JRPGs. That's because they're a Western company, so they're not really selling in Japan like the PlayStation 3 is, where all the JRPGs go. But still, not too many JRPGs on the 360. That's what pulls me away from it. Because, like I said, I'm a big JRPG gamer. Now, JRPG is the only thing I play. No, I play other genres. I play fighters. I play action adventure. I play hack and slash. I play a multitude of genres. I even play shooters sometimes. But JRPGs are my favorite genre. And there's just not enough on the 360 to make me want to go out and buy one. And that's another flaw of the 360. They don't have any JRPGs. When these fanboys come out and say this one console is superior to all the rest of the consoles, they are lying. They are lying right out their teeth. Because they only own one console, and they, for some reason, ejaculate to that one console. The PS3 has the same problem. JRPGs, they're more common on the PlayStation 3, but there's not a lot of good ones like during the PlayStation 2 era. And that's a problem. That's a big problem. Because like I said, I'm a big JRPG gamer. And that's was Sony's biggest selling point back to the PlayStation 2. Was their JRPGs. And it still is one of their biggest selling points. But they're not as good as they used to be because they're caring more about the graphics. And because of that, it's hurting the industry. And with that, they're not getting too many good JRPGs with good gameplay and good story. So, but yeah, I cannot stand fanboys. I cannot stand them. Every console has their ups and every console has their downs. I miss the days back during the Super Nintendo era when you could just sit down and enjoy a game. You wouldn't have to worry about someone complaining about, oh, you own said console, you're a gay faggot, gay Nintendo nerd, or you're a Sony fanboy, or you're a 360 sucker, or something like that. Back in the old days, back before you had the whole advancement of the internet and the advancement of things like the HD graphics and all that crap, gaming was better to me. Heck, I think this generation was the worst generation of gaming ever. I mean, ever. And I fear for the 8th generation. Trust me, these people who are playing in the 7th generation are going to be the people going into the 8th generation, and so on, and they're going to be the ones to maybe in future work in the industry. It scares the hell out of me. Because they're stupid. The 7th generation gamers are stupid. I am so glad that I am somebody grew up with what I want to say the 3rd generation of gaming. I'm so glad I'm someone who grew up with the 3rd generation of gaming when Nintendo got into the industry. I am so glad. I'm so glad I'm not one of these people who started out with the 6th generation, with the 7th generation. Trust me, these 7th gen gamers, they sicken me. I wish a lot of them would just stop playing video games and go do something else with their lives. I'll leave it to the true gamers who've been gaming since the 3rd gen or 1st gen or 2nd gen. Leave it to us true gamers. Because you 7th gen gamers, you like to call all the people who've been gaming since then gay faggots and stuff like that, gay Nintendo nerds, Sony fanboys and shit like that. You know, it's you guys who are the gay faggots. And who are the faggots that will ruin the industry. The gaming industry will cease to exist with you gay faggots trying to push us towards things we shouldn't be pushed towards. Pretty much moral of the story, don't be a fanboy. But I've went on long enough in this video. I just want to stir out how I feel about the whole fanboy thing. I know I made several videos on it in the past, but this is probably my last video on it, so I don't want to make any more videos on fanboys. I cannot stand them. So yeah, I'm a Nintendo fan, I'm a Sony fan, but I'm a gamer, period. I play gaming on PC, Nintendo, PlayStation, Microsoft. I am a gamer. So yeah, this is Uncle Shao saying peace out. Talk to you guys later, and I hope y'all have a wonderful weekend.